But either way, I wanted to do this blue quest first, because leaves are actually really important. They're part of your, like, daily stuff that you have to do, so I thought I might as well, like, get it over with and, like, show this off. Ah, blue. Momodi said you might come. I take it you wish to undertake one of the many guild leaves available here at the Adventurers Guild. Guild leaves are the means by which we document requests for assistance from the citizenry prior to assigning them to adventurers possessed of the necessary skills. From battlecraft leaves that require the extermination of monsters to tradecraft leaves that ask for the creation of goods, the term Levequests are many and varied in their nature. Should your interest be piqued, I suggest that you make your way to Horizon and speak with Totanoa. He will be happy to set your feet on the path to completing your first Leave quest. Okay, cool. At Horizon. Right. Wait, we can't actually get to it from here. So, while we're on the way over there, I might as well do this really quickly as well. I'm gonna probably eat 2 of those because I'm gonna need that whole hour of XP. Might as well pick up this one right here. This is not one that we're really gonna need to go into that hard. Not unless, like, for some strange reason, I feel the incipient need to even remotely touch housing, but I kind of wanted to do this really quickly to kind of show it off. Imi has information that may interest wealthy adventurers. Have you heard the news about the Goblet? All that quality land so desperately coveted is to be auctioned off to bidders, regardless of their origins. Even adventurers have the right to participate. Just imagine, the entire area could end up being owned by wealthy foreign... beg your pardon, miss. Isn't that I dislike adventurers? Far from it, but... when you consider that Ul'dah is still struggling to accommodate countless refugees, the idea that land is going to be sold for profit is... not so surprising whatsoever, come to think of it. Still, the least that they could do is give preferential treatment to hardworking Uldahs like me. I've been saving years, just waiting for an opportunity like this to come along. Say, you wouldn't have to be curious as well, would you? About the Goblet? My hands are full here, but you've a moment to head that way. Look into this auction business on my behalf. I'd be ever so grateful. There's bound to be an immortal flames represented by the gates to the Goblet, who can explain what's going on. This wouldn't happen without General Rabad's approval, of that much I'm sure. Okay, here we are, just a little bit ways off. Heard about the auctions, have you? You're not the first to approach me this day. Aye, 'tis true, in the effort to encourage immigration to our great nation, all lands within the Goblet are to be set aside for adventurers like yourself. Tragic, some might say, that only adventurers be permitted to settle within its wards, but decisions are made by wiser men than I. A beautiful place, the Goblet, a man-made oasis, built atop a towering butte. But why bother explaining when you could see it for yourself? Just head in through these gates and follow the road. If you wish to know more about the Goblet, speak to the recruit station just past the entrance. He'd be happy to assist you. Okay, go through. Housing. In each of the 3 nations have established a residential district wherein like-minded adventurers can establish a base of their activities. Each residential district is divided into wards, which in those house 60 plus of land, which wealthy individuals may purchase plots of land upon which build their own estate halls, while free companies may jointly purchase plots. Those seeking simpler quarters may instead purchase a room in the apartment buildings found in each of the residential districts. That basically explains what's going on. Huh, a lot of them are for auction right now, apparently. Then again, the Goblet is, like, I think the least desired area. Some people really don't like the desert aesthetic. I know a lot of people that love the forest nature of one of the other places. but everyone that I know has ever wanted a place in the Asian section, so they can make make their place look all fancy with like big oceanside property type stuff. And you can see like actual people's houses that have stuff on them. That they have actually like done things to make them look cool. In the little cutscene right there. Oh, it just wasn't loading in yet. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Goblet. Beg your pardon, an old Don woman asked you to learn more about the auctions. Oh dear, as you may have heard, these plots are reserved exclusively for adventurers. Since your friend is an old Don citizen, she is ineligible to participate. Should you yourself have mind to purchase a plot, pray seek with the resident caretaker. He can guide you through the process. Yeah. I might get an apartment, just so I can store a few things, because I know that they're going to be cluttering my inventory if I don't do something with them. But yeah, this is kind of these have always been neat areas. Like, you have like little shops and vendors that you could do stuff with, and then you have the actual plots of land. Like here, all of these are actual like places that you can actually like put things down on. I think because there's no like orange symbol next to someone's name, sorry, next to the actual building, it's up for sale, meaning this giant plot of land, right? Oh wait, no, the little auction symbol. Okay, so I think the I might mean that it's locked, and then the big ones mean that no, and then the ones without it means that it might not. Let's actually go down there and actually see how the apartments work. I know for a fact you need a lot, and I mean a lot of money to buy these. Like, I'm not sure if you actually saw when... Yeah, it's like, just this simple small plot of land is 18 million gil. Like, that is so far out of our price range, it's insane at this point. Like, listen, I'm a person who's never really cared about housing. If we ever get to a point of this series where I've basically finished everything with this game, I am caught up to current content, and I've even done the self-imposed thing where I get all of the raid gear for all the classes. Sure, we'll buy a house at that point and we'll decorate it to our heart's content. Like, look at this little stable with, like, people's chocobos out. Market boards, we haven't really interacted with them yet, but you could buy stuff from these. The way that you do it is that you have a retainer, which you have set up through the summoning bell. And then you just basically give them a bunch of stuff to hold on to, tell them to sell some of it, and then it appears on the market board. It's kind of an old... It's an old part of like 1.0 that's still around, but the fact that they've reduced it to this instead of walking around town to see where like an NPC is standing, like talk to them for their inventory. So yeah, apartment buildings. Let's actually see how much they are, because I think when I last checked, it wasn't actually too much. You must attain level 50 in a single class and hold a rank of 2nd lieutenant or above in one of the grand companies. Interesting. So basically what it is that it's a one-room apartment that you could just put everything into. And there are going to be some things that I don't want to get rid of because, well, those items are actually from, like, quests, and I kind of don't want... and I don't want them cluttering up my inventory because, one, I can't sell them, and two, I want a place to, like, show them off at least, you know? So getting an apartment might be nice, and if we actually do that housing thing, I'm definitely going to show that off. Yeah, like I was saying, like, you could even see that, like, this one's going for, like, 3 million. Yeah, and that one was 18 million. So that was on the higher side, and that's just a medium. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, so it's like, it looks like it's, the starting price is like 3 million, and then you have to, like, increase the bargaining rate. And since the medium is like 18 million, I don't see any large one for sale, because I know for a fact that they would immediately get, like, gobbled up if that was the case, you know? But I've heard that the large plots of land go for, like, yeah, there it is, 47 million gil for this large plot of land, and there's already, like, stuff going, and there's already probably money put into that. I would, I wouldn't say I would probably bet, but it's like 45 million sounds about right for, like, a large plot of land. Um, but yeah, it's like, it's a neat thing. I again, I'm not really into, like, the whole housing stuff. I think it's kind of interesting, but I'm not, like, immediately like, man, I need a house so I can do stuff. But if I did get even, like, a small house, like, I have some ideas of, like, how I would decorate it, but eh? It's not ever really been a thing that's interested me. Let's just say that. So let's talk to Amy and tell her the bad news. Oh, you returned. Tell me, what have you learned of the auctions? Yeah? What do you mean that it's reserved exclusively for adventurers? I mean, sure, times are tough and every nation is scrambling to attract formidable fighters. But what about my needs? What about my 40 acres and a chocobo? But that's not fair. Yay, we have doubled our money. You can now teleport to the goblet from inside the city. That's gonna be helpful. Maybe, I think. So I actually noticed during a mission I was doing on my main character, uh a timer appeared during stuff, and it's right here. And the timer was, like, right here covered by some stuff, and I'm like, I need to figure out how to avoid that with my UI. Because I have a feeling I have a feeling that it might not actually be too hard to kind of avoid that type of thing. But if I'm gonna double check to see if that actually is just a static thing, or if I can actually move it, you know? So since we're going up here to talk about leaves, I might as well kind of explain something about them. Uh, the reason why we're actually opening up leaves is not actually to do them, believe it or not. It's so we can do a quest later using them. And one of the more interesting things about this game is that they really want you to do every piece of content. Because odd pieces of content show up later or tie into other things. Like, for instance, if we want to get a cool, fancy sword at the end of an expansion that is like, yes, this is our cool weapon. It's got a purple background that's really neat. If we want to do those, we have to do leaves, which is, like, the most interesting part about that whole thing. A fine evening to you, adventurer. My name is Totonoa, and I am in charge of assigning local leave quests here at Horizon. You have come at the behest of Eustace, are you? Excellent. Allow me to set you up with your first task. It shall be a simple one, mind you. Before I can permit you to undertake official duties, it's essential that you prove yourself of sound body and mind. Take a moment to review the task outlined in the skill leave. Do you believe it within your capabilities? Accepting it, you just press the accept. Marvelous. A word of warning. When near death, Beasts are wont to flee to their kin. Slay the beast quickly lest you become a meal for its mates. Open your journal and press the initiate button when you're inside the circle. Got it. Also, I completely forgot to, don't know why they gave me that tutorial twice, but okay. Almost forgot to attune to this place just in case. Since I'm pretty sure we have to come back here later, I'm actually going to set this as my home point. Okay, I did set that as a favorite spot, just in case. I didn't want to get caught with my pants down with that kind of thing, because that has happened sometimes where I just go like, oh, I didn't attune to that place. Now I have to figure out a land crossing into it. Let's pull up the hunting log. I think there were some things over here at Horizon's Edge. Oh, footfalls. Horizon's Edge is over here. Okay, in that case, there are actually a few things that we can do, like the like we could technically do these thick shells that are sitting over here, but I think initiate. Okay, so the way that leave difficulty works is that this is the level that is right here. Basically what the difficulty is adding additional levels to it to make it more worthwhile when you come out of it. Basically, we should always, every single time, put it at maximum difficulty so we can get the most out of it. Even if it's a little bit above where our own personal level should be, I would rather be yeah, I would rather have a situation where I'm doing slightly less damage and taking slightly more damage than not get the required stuff for it. I believe so since we just did that, yeah, since we just did that, we are gonna get a reward for what happened. But of course you triumphed. Here's your well-earned reward. Get a bonus based off of difficulty and speed of completion. Neat. Given your stellar performance, I see no reason to deny you your official leaves. An industrious individual like yourself could earn a great deal of coin here at Horizon. Simply the heist? City-state leaves unlocked. Yes. While I heartily encourage you to partake in my guild leaves, you should seek a different sort of challenge. You might also consider joining a guild Hest. If you wish to know more, pray seek with the Battle Warden Lost Rabbit. I will inform her of your success against the Peast. So so there are no doubts as to your abilities. Need said a word, adventurer. I could hear Tochinoa quite well from here. Yeah, I figured. As this is your first time joining us, allow me a moment to explain in detail exactly what a guild Hest entails. More than a simple guild quest, simple leave quest, but not quite as realm-shaking as a grand company outing. Guild Hests will test your ability to work together with a small party of battle companions to overcome not-so-small obstacles. The duty is taxing, but the coin is decent, and you will be helping maintain the safety of Eorzea and the well-being of her citizens. If what I described to you appeals to you, pray seek to me again and join a guild Hest. Might as well just get more potions. Again, I'm not sure if we ever are going to need to use those potions, but they are going to be really helpful in a pinch, you know? You've unlocked the Duty Finder. A little bit early than the game probably expects to use, so you just use U to open it. Yeah. So Hests are really interesting. Each each class, and I'm not talking about and I'm not just talking about like the tanks or just the healers. Every single class has an independent completion bonus, and that independent completion bonus is used to basically like increase your trajectory if you complete all them. So, but like once you get above like level 30 guild hests, you start running into the problem of just no one is running them, because what do you know? Not many people have unlocked regular leaves, let alone hests, let alone level 30 guild hests. So you really do need to like track down some people that will do these with you if you're really in the mood for it, I guess. Let me see if I could actually do it unsynced. No, unrestricted parties are not allowed. Okay, that makes sense. I usually only do unrestricted party. I know several people that silence their echo or put minimum item level on. These make it a little bit harder for you to do it. You could also level sync down. So effectively, doing this and bringing in one of each different class might actually be one of the hardest things that you can do in the game. You could also turn on Explorer mode on several dungeons to just kind of walk around. And you could also change the loot. So greed only means that no one has the ability to like supersede it with like, this is my class, so I'm gonna get priority on it. And Loot Master basically just says that whoever's the party leader can dole it out however he wishes. You know, it's simple stuff. But yeah, let's do this really quickly so I can show this off. Oh, there's already like someone waiting. I have a distinct feeling this will go exactly as I expect, which is not many people are going to be running it, so it might take a bit. Oh, there it is. Took a little bit, like I think about like 5 minutes, maybe. I'll double check when we actually like go into it. Oh no, it's telling me a bunch of stuff I don't need to worry about right now. Yeah, so basically it's really simple. Take out all the enemies. Sometimes there is a little bit more of a priority thing. Hazardous zones, you could probably understand that this will be the circle of intent. Using our AoEs to attract enemies to us. There we go. Player recommendations. Basically we go, hey, you're cool. You did stuff. We also got the achievement for defeating enemies. That's cool. I'll just throw it on random character. There you go. Huh. We also level up and stuff. We actually got a player commendation. That's neat. Usually what will happen is that is that since we're playing the tank, we usually just like get one or two. But yeah, there we go. That's basically everything here. Might as well talk to the Chocobo Keep over here as well. I was gonna get the Chocobo ready over here, and then I realized I actually haven't been over here yet. Whoops. So again, what I could do, ill-advised at this point, I could basically just run around and get all of the Western Thamlin hunting logs, but we really don't need to do that right now. What we actually should be doing right now is completing our class quest up there. Mostly because I want to kind of get to the level 15 the level 10 story beat. And then we could start doing other things. So how about we just run over there and do that? Okay, so we're back over here now. Which means that we can actually do this quest. First Sword Mila wishes to teach you the fundamentals of the gladiatorial arts. Is that the exact one I have? Yeah. Custom-made cuirass. This is actually one of the reasons why. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this later, but yeah, we're gonna be picking this specifically, even though it is a downgrade to anything else we could be getting. Sorry about that. Ah, Blue. I take it you and your sword have become better acquainted. Then I will now instruct you on another fundamental aspect of what it means to be a gladiator. Commanding an opponent's attention. As gladiators, we are trained to engage enemies at close range, weathering their attacks as we deliver our own. However, there are times in which we must do battle alongside allies whose talents are not the same as ours. In such a situation, your role is not to slay the enemy in front of you, but rather to defend the man beside you. We do this by eliciting the enmity of our opponents through attacks and techniques designed to incite their hatred. You must learn to draw the enemy's attention to yourself and trust in your stout constitution to endure. In doing so, you protect your weaker comrades, who would otherwise perish. To help you understand this, there is a task I would have you perform. It just so happens that Momodi of the Quicksand has requested your assistance. A gang of Levequests marauders have paraded into town and begun harassing people outside her establishment. Men like these prey on the weak, and I will not turn tail and flee from the first sign of defiance. You need to resort to violence. You need not resort to violence. It will suffice to show them that you are not afraid and will not tolerate their behavior. Seek out the Levequests, make your presence known by bellowing, "Face me, marauder!" In this way, I will protect the people of Ul'dah, as you would your allies in battle. That took me a really hard time to look at. So, this is why we have emotes. We have a bunch of emotes that we can do, and if I remember correctly, /me. Wait, what am I doing? Sort emotes by name. Me. There we go. Okay, just momentarily throw that right there. And, we're not gonna put any more right there for right now, but I will say that we are gonna need a few of them. And we're gonna organize those eventually, by how often we're gonna need them. But in reality, like, whichever emote we really need, we could just pull up right there. And we also have a favorites tab we could also have. Hey, so, this next section, is gonna have a few cuts in it because I started having some audio problems return. But, so I had to, like, cut a segment of this mission out because of all that. Don't worry too much, we didn't lose anything of importance. We were just going around and talking to all of the NPCs, like, pointing at ourselves and then getting upset that they
for accosting women, so don't worry too much, you didn't miss anything.
This one is the only one with the name. And just who the hell do you think you're speaking to? I'm Farmerl, the Driven, and me bloody marauders have been weaving so long, mothers scare their children with tales about us. Don't believe me words? Then let me axe do the talking. Oh ho, this is lively even for the quicksand. You two gonna put on a show for us? What's this, another goddamn fool? Show some respect when you talk to. Farmerl the Driven, leader of the troop of bloody murmurs or some such? I heard you the first time. Your voice carries quite well. Then unless you want me to split your skull with an axe, you better. That sword! It couldn't be Frenzy, but the only sword of Nald would be bloody hells. It's you. You know, I've never been one to stand back and watch. Mind if I join in the fun? Begging your pardon, sir. They always do that. Looks like it's just you and me. Standing up to that Lamentium was quite brave of you, and quite foolish. I think I like you, Gladiator. Name's Ul'dah, and I'd buy you a drink, but I'm afraid that I just spent the last of me coin. I used to be a young Gladio like you, back then. That hardly concerns you these days. I'm just an explorer of the unexplored, a seeker of as of yet unknown experiences. Like that beautiful stranger keeping my bed warm right now. Gods, I've missed this city. This wonderful desert jewel of debauchery and sin. Now, if you'll excuse me... Okay. Oh, I guess we have to confer back with Momodi about this. I swear, if I hadn't seen all this with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Wouldn't have believed it was him. Everyone here thought he died years ago. Listen, Blue, do me a favor and don't tell Mila about meeting all this, alright? She doesn't need this sort of drama. Why? Well, let's just say some folk ain't good for one another. Previous love interest, I see, got it. I just won't bring this up, ever. I hope the game doesn't force me to say it at some point. Okay, here we are again. Hey Mila, we're back. I've already heard your exploits of the quicksand, Blue. You did well to hear the send those marauders packing. I wish I could say we've heard the last of them. Alas, we received reports of axe-wielding raiders assaulting merchants traveling through Scorpion Crossing. Seems words will not suffice after all. I want you to finish what you begun, Blue. Head to Western Thanalin and see that Farmerl the Driven and all those who shared his crimes never trouble the people of Ul'dah again. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna be a little bit mean, but if this was Final Fantasy X, I would have literally walked in the door and I would literally have yelled, Aldous was here. Because half of the characters in Final Fantasy X might actually be too stupid to understand nuance. For the record, that other half is one character, and he's the coolest character in that whole game. They tore me from my saddle and took everything I owned. Bring me my goods back to me, I beg of you. Yeah. Why are you telling me how to interact with things now? Oh, right, because the quest where you had to pick up those women's coins, we never actually were forced to do it in-game. Okay, so there's these 2 sacks of caravan items. By interacting with them, we attack 2 marauders, which is severely under-leveled for us, so which is immediately just carve through them. Oh hey, this guy's here immediately. There's like no pretense of like, oh hey, we have to go on like 3 side quests and then this guy will appear. No, he's just right here in the same side quest, and he's gone. I hope you get home safely, little Chocobo. I mean, they're not really little, but I hope they get home safely. They tore... dude, I already have your stuff, don't worry. You don't have to keep repeating it. 12 bless you, adventurer. If it weren't for good women like you, I'd never leave home. Okay, now we're back, and we're a little bit... should I mention it now, or should I mention it later? Oh well. Good, it's finished, and with that, the stage of your training is complete. This time, your enemies are ill-behaved ruffians. Sorry, I was adjusting myself in my chair. But who knows what manner of opponents you'll face in the future. Regardless, I have faith that you will do well. Master your sword, and you shall master yourself. Now then, there will be work for you in the days to come. Return to your training, Blue, and we'll speak again. So, there's a reason why I actually picked up this item. I'm gonna just automatically put this over here since we're gonna get rid of it soon. This custom-made cuirass. As you can see, there is a notice when we hover up the item on shop selling price, the word restricted. This is actually an interesting item because you can't get this normally in game. The only way to get this cuirass, play with gear. The only way to get this cuirass is by doing this mission effectively. I think you could get it with you could probably get this with Marauder as well, which I'll probably be skipping when I actually do the Marauder stuff. But there were very limited ways for us to actually get the custom items, which are usually a tunic or a chest item that is designed... Oh wait. Send that one also to the inventory. We don't need that one either. Yeah, it's usually a chest piece that is custom, and for right now, it is actually probably going to be our an item to hold on to for later. Ooh, you see here, these are some stuff that we really need because these are level 10 stuff. What is the lowest item we have? We have level 5, 8, 5, 8, 8. I guess either gloves or boots? Gloves. We're gonna get gloves because they're a higher level. Again, we could be grabbing the coins, but it really is just better for us to get the item here now for free instead of having to go out and actually like buy stuff with it. First sword melee requires your immediate assistance with a dangerous matter. Well, look, Blue, I hope you are ready for your first task because I require your immediate assistance. There have been several violent murders recently, the victims of which are all Hurrian men. Based on the multiple spear wounds found on the bodies of the deceased, I believe that Lancers are responsible for the crimes. Not only are these murders a blight upon our city, I fear it is only a matter of time before one of our own is targeted. I've just received reports of foreign Lancers skulking about in Stone's Throw considering the circumstances. I find it likely that these are our culprits. We cannot abide any more murders. Go to Stone's Throw, outside the Gate of Nald, and speak with any you find in the area. With luck, we may find these Lancers before they strike again. Okay. Sounds fair. Okay, so I forgot to mention that this is actually Stone's Throw. This little encampment of huts that are over here. So that guy in that quest that we were doing with the rock golem showing up, yeah, this is the area that he was from. Gutless Gladiator. Don't kill me, please. I'm not the one you want. Oh, hello. Dusk White Freelancers. Ugh. I was actually scared for a split second that there was a, yeah, I was unironically scared that a behemoth suddenly landed right here. Thank you. They appeared out of nowhere. Asked me if I was Ul'dah at Sphere Point. I said no, and they attacked me anyway. What did I even do to deserve this? I guess it's getting to about that time. Giant tortoise. I guess it's getting to about that time where we should probably tell her, but I'm gonna just hold off on not telling her because I don't want to sound like that person that was withholding information for whatever reason. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're back. So they were indeed murderers, we saw it. But what brought Duskwhite Freelancers all the way from the Black Shroud? And why were they murdering Curium men with swords? For a sword... What is it? Lancers. For a sword, a gang of them hiding in the tunnel south of Blackbrush Station. It seems that we're not rid of them yet, Blue. You might as well finish what you started. Go to Central Thanalan and dispatch of the last of these freelancers. Bruce, accompany Blue. See that she doesn't die. Well, I can't keep this last from getting skewered, but I'll patch her up the best I can. Blue, defend Bruce so he doesn't die. He knows powerful healing magics, but he cannot employ them unless you keep your enemies preoccupied. Preoccupied means that they are already occupied. Make sure you command their full attention at all times. I am counting on you to keep those bastards away from me. Watch me back and I'll watch yours. You have your orders, Gladiators. Send these freelancers to the 7th gate. You have your orders. Oh wait, I read that. I thought I clicked on it. So I just teleported over here because I went through the wrong door twice, and I didn't think I would go through the wrong door twice, but apparently I did. So now I am currently on my way over there. Oh, hey, giant tortoise. There we go. Gotta level up from that. We might actually be able to get to level 15, actually, to do the level 15 quest immediately after this if we play our cards right. Either way, Bruce the Big is here. Seems no one's home. What shall we... Let's say we wait here and ambush them when they return. Level sync is in effect. Pretty cool. So while it isn't really much of a problem right now, one of the main things that I am kind of seeing as being a problem later on down the road is class choice. You may think that this is a little weird, considering that it's like, oh, we're going to be playing all the classes. But I've actually seriously thought about, like, what classes should we go to do certain content in? And believe it or not, most of the promotional material for this game is done with tank characters in mind. Like, the canon jobs that the main character has been is in this order of an archer, a warrior, a dragoon, a monk, a samurai, a dark knight, and a paladin. And it's actually kind of interesting. I'm starting as a paladin here because, honestly, the paladin has one of the best starting, like, stuff going on. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to start with this instead of starting as an archer. On reflection, I could have probably started as an archer and then at level 30 switched to a warrior, and I could have continued doing it that way, but at the same time, it just feels weird, you know? I wanted to start as a paladin because then it feels like paladin going all the way through the story makes sense. But then does that mean that I'm not going to give any time for the canon classes? And that's a hard question. Because it feels like every class except for what is like the only classes that don't really get any good representation as a major character in any expansion? I think it might be Dancer and Bard. So and by extension Machinist. Like all of the ranged DPS don't really get anything. Uh but yeah. Looks like we're done here. Let's head home, Blue. I could use a drink. Yee. Um, we could actually, while we're here in Central Thanalan, do some of the Central Thanalan stuff, walk over to Western Thanalan, and complete some of the other stuff. I'm not going to Eastern Thanalan, so there's going to be that. And I think basically anything tougher than a thick shell is probably going to be a little bit too much for me right now, so I might actually just do that before I meet up with Mila.